Every minute, a person in both the US and Europe is disabled or dies from a stroke. I'm Trent Reutiman. I'm the CEO of Anaconda Biomed. Our mission is to make a difference for the patients and the families affected by stroke, the second most common killer globally. If you look at a brief history of Anaconda, it was founded in 2015 with a first-generation device by a world-renowned interventional neuroradiologist. The device was then put through a clinical trial, Solanda, in over 100 patients. It was confirmed to be incredibly efficacious. However, there was a real need confirmed for improved ease of use. It was then, the catheter was modified. A second generation was put through an additional phase 2 study of 43 patients, and that also confirmed this high level of efficacy, but the improvement of use. That device is now in our IDE trial, the Athena study. It's a global IDE, and it's enrolling right now. We anticipate a result at the end of the year, and in association with that, there will be a Series C financing. If you think about treatments for stroke and we dial into mechanical thrombectomy, 2 of every 1,000 people will suffer a stroke. The majority or vast majority of that is ischemic, so it's occlusive, there's clot involved. And then if you look at mechanical thrombectomy, about 30% of the time it's used to treat that stroke. It's a fast-growing market due to an aging patient population. It's stable, though, at about 250,000 procedures right now in thrombectomy, which is about a 7% penetration rate, and leading to an excess target market of over $1 billion. There are several tools for mechanical thrombectomy. There's the original stent retriever, been around for a number of years now, but still used quite frequently. There's contact aspiration catheters. There's a combination of those 2 things used together, stent retrievers and aspiration catheters. And then there's balloon guide catheters shown there on the left. And so a balloon guide catheter does arrest flow, which is an important concept. The holy grail in mechanical thrombectomy is really a first-pass effect, or clearing that occlusion and establishing reperfusion in one thrombectomy pass. That doesn't happen as often as you would think. Fragmentation of the clot gets in the way, and it interrupts, and it occurs about 60% of the time. Reducing fragmentation, therefore, is the opportunity. Fragmentation, like I said, happens in 2 pieces. It happens at the stent, with the stent retriever when you're retrieving the clot back, and then it happens at the capture, where you're trying to capture that clot back into the catheter. Flow reversal really limits fragmentation. You're not pulling against the current, and if you can aspirate through your device, you actually create flow reversal. So at Anaconda, with our funnel catheter, we arrest flow like a balloon catheter, which is an important concept, and you can still aspirate through the device, generating flow reversal. If you look at the other capture technologies that are really on the market, it's a series of catheters that have been increasing in size, and yet the pickups have really been, not that dramatic. Here you get a good feel for what the funnel and bringing that clot into the mouth of the funnel really looks like in comparison to those other catheter technologies. And if you just kind of factor that in from an area perspective, we really have a catcher's mitt that can really handle the baseball, so to speak. We did a series of things from bench to preclinical to in-humans. We've gotten a very consistent reperfusion. Here you can see in 3 passes, we went from 100% to the high 90s. It was far superior to a balloon guide catheter plus stent retriever. So we've got a consistent performance here. And then if you really look at that last study we did with the current device, we were in 43 patients at 3 centers in Spain. It finished in 2023. An incredible first pass result of 61%. which is about 50% better than the published literature on catheters plus stent retrievers. Athena is our IDE study. It's a non-inferiority analysis of our funnel catheter plus stent retriever versus what's called Celumbra, which is stent retrievers plus aspirational techniques. You saw some of that published data. Really get a feel for how these two things work together in our treatment arm here versus the control arm. It's an open IDE trial globally. It's 327 patients. We get the benefit at 75% along the way at 245 patients of unblinding that data and doing an interim analysis without taking a hit. And of course, we have an imaging core lab and a data management committee that go hand in hand with an IDE study. Our expected clinical outcomes, we do believe will be easier, safer, and more accurate with existing technologies that are on the market right now. There will be a more effective treatment because we're going to limit fragmentation. We're going to get that clot into the catheter and get it out of the body in the first pass. And we have an improved aspiration force through our catheter compared to those I showed you. So again, kind of a much higher rate at 3 passes and certainly at 1 pass. First pass effect is really our primary outcome of the study. So we've really put our money where our mouth is, and we're going to deliver on that first pass effect. We've got a large number of patent families, number of active applications, and a number of granted patents with this technology. If you then look at it and you think about the funnel adding value to traditional use of stent retriever and guide catheters, it makes all the sense in the world that we would have a portfolio of these important products. And so we've got the funnel catheter, our own stent retriever, and our own guide catheter. Our funnel catheter will be CE marked this year. Shortly behind it will be our stent retriever, and our guide catheter will be commercially viable in the US in early 2027. Got a great team around me. Mark Rebo is our interventional founding father. His partner is still a managing director at the company, Ophir Arad. My chief medical officer is somebody who's pioneered clinical studies in cardiovascular medicine. Those companies have gone on to exit. We have a great group of venture capitalists. The two big ones in Spain are Isios and Asabas, and 2 in Switzerland. So it's been a fairly European-centric venture group. We're excited about bringing this technology and showcasing it through the IDE in the United States. Who's who of a scientific advisory board led by Noguera, Joven, and Conyard. These are big names in interventional neuroradiology and neurosurgery. We feel blessed to have them on our side. And really then, as we head towards the end of the year, we're going to do a raise of $25 million. It's going to take us through the end of the clinical results. It's going to validate and allow us to improve scale up our in-house manufacturing. And then it's going to set us up for an early or initial commercial launch. And so you can see here again on that timeline how this looks. Thanks so much for your time on Anaconda, and